What's going on? Alrighty then. So here's another segment into my life. Um, as a little girl, I've always, I think I've always been a real super emotional creature. I've always been extremely tenderhearted, and my vibes. I had very strong vibes, or now I would say it was. I've always had real good energy to be able to read people. Did I always listen to it? No, because we have to go through our life lessons, and that's what make us have these stories to tell. So, as a little girl, I was never truly happy, and I learned at an early age how to put a mask on just to show to show society that I'm okay, even when I really wasn't. So from living in the same home that I was molested in, to having to go through mental and verbal abuse from my grandmother, um, just being unhappy because my mom was in her addiction. I've made it, should I say. I was screwed up in the head, really didn't know that until a few years ago, but I made it. I could have been a whole lot worse. Um, but I've always been a person that allowed people to come into my world and just be who they are. I've never been a real judgmental person, and I've always been an observer. I like to tell people that I like to go and people watch. I just like to go outside and go places and just sit and look as people stroll by and look at the interactions of people. Um, that's always been me. I love people. Do I like a lot of people? No. But I've always loved people, especially my black people. But after my hospital stay, there were changes within relationships of my family. Me and one of my closest cousins, we are no longer close anymore. And at one time, I went from hurt, I went to anger with her with that situation also, because not only did she change the dynamic of us, she um, she changed the dynamic between our children, and I feel like, hey, the kids have nothing to do with this, so why would you do that? But it is what it is. It is what it is. Going through my journey, because I was I'm not gonna say kind of, I was ashamed to really let people know what was going on. So the worst I felt, I would always make sure my outside appearance was so up to par. Everything was up to par. I made sure my clothes were really nice. My hair was really done pretty. And I've always been a person that likes to change. I never wanted the same look longer than a week. Um, so I would always make sure that I look really pretty on the outside. And later, after I had to tell everybody what I was going through, and after I got the question of, well, you look fine, nothing looked fine, you look normal as always, you didn't look depressed. My question to that particular cousin was, what does a depressed person look like? And she looked at me. She just looked at me. And I told her, there are so many people walking around this earth, so many people on TV that suffer from severe depression or some kind of mental disorder. And you never know, because for one, you can't look at a person and just be like, oh, you're depressed. Oh, you're schizophrenic. Oh, you're bipolar. Or, there's no face for that. If there was a face for that, maybe, yeah, you could have told, you would have been able to know. Um, with me being learning to mask things from such a young age, the age of 7, yeah, 7. Um, I learned to internalize things. So my pain was always internal. And up until the age of 32, I started to crack up. Everything started to boil over. No longer could I keep the facade up because it was killing me in the inside. As I said in the other video, I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to come here and deal with nothing at this house. So I started to completely break down, and I internalized everything from 7 years old up until the age of 32. So I've always been able to mask that. I guess you can say a chameleon, but my mind was at war with its own self because of that. That relationship with that cousin, it it's damaged. It became damaged because of things that she said, not only within the family but also to strangers outside of the family. And I feel like when there's a family issue, this is how I feel about my family. I don't know how anybody else feels. When there are certain family issues going on, it stays within the family. I don't care how good a stranger knows you and how long that stranger has been within you guys' life. It doesn't go any farther than that. Some family things are just that, family things. She didn't respect the dynamic of family, and she's always been the type of person to, mimic or just broadcast somebody else's turmoil just for the sake of having a conversation. And I didn't agree with that. I didn't agree with that with my situations and a lot of situations that I would hear her discuss. Although we have the same bloodline, we're totally, totally different. And it's who she is. Do I still love my cousin? I like her. The relationship is not the same. I'll always be here for her if she ever needs me for anything. If she needs me to talk or whatever. But I know how to handle her and anybody else that has crossed me within this time or that I'll meet in the future. That hey, if I extend my friendship to you because I'm a super great friend to have, if I extend that to you and in turn you cross me, I'm gonna welcome you back in, but I know how to deal with you at this point. So it's that relationship. It's torn. It's strained. When she comes around now, it's I don't know if she can feel it, but I can feel it, and everybody else can. It's like what is the word? It's just like a coldness there because I know that that is fake. It's phony on her end, so it is what it is. Um, Coming from the place that I was at, I can tell you that I never want to go back there. Growing up, I can't tell anybody that I was a happy child. I wasn't even a happy adult, not even with the birth of either one of my sons. Not graduating from school, high school that is. I did not know the true feeling of happiness until I got to the age of 32, going on 33, when I released all of this just pent up emotions and anger, and I didn't know what it felt like to be happy. And these have become the most brilliant years of my life because I've allowed myself to just be me. I've accepted me. I've forgiven people, and I'm living. I still struggle with a lot of things that I want to do as far as my writing, just my instruments that God gave me that I have not used because I felt like you're not good enough or nobody's gonna like what you're saying or you're not gonna be able to do it. You're not gonna be able to do it. I was and I still am. I have I still have the sleeve of fear on one of my arms. It's not completely off my body, and I pray about that every day. So it's I'm a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. But just going through things sometimes, you may not be able to see the laughter. I'm not crying either. I'm wiping my eye. You may not be able to see the laughter in it at that moment. Sometimes you may get a good chuckle in, sometimes you may not. But when you come out of it and you sit back and you think on a lot of things that, well, when this happened and this, you can really laugh at it if you get to that good place. I got to the good place. I'm in the good place. You can sit back and you can be grateful about it, and some your story may be able to help somebody else. And I don't want to discourage anybody with my stories, but this is my true life. This is what I went through. This is what I had to go through to get to where I'm at. And I just want to keep pushing forward. I want to keep meeting people with good energy. I've met quite a few people so far, and I tend to only want to be around those kind of people. I can throw myself in a rut if I wanted to, which I don't want to, so I keep my energy nice. I keep my energy very, very nice. Otherwise, I stay in my home because no one is welcome in here that I don't allow. Um, and I guess that's about it. I'm gonna try to make my videos more uniform because I will get off the subject and go everywhere because I have racing thoughts. So I'm gonna have to start writing stuff down and pretty much just go from there.